Okay, here we go. This is a public meeting to consider the proposed comprehensive official plan and zoning bylaw amendments listed as items 3 to 7 on today's agenda. For the items... Okay, everybody, hello? For the items just mentioned, only those who make oral submissions today or written submissions before the amendments are adopted may appeal the matter to the local planning appeal tribunal. In addition, the applicant may appeal the matter to the local planning appeal tribunal, or LPAT, if council does not adopt an amendment within 150 days of receipt of the application for zoning and 210 days for an official plan amendment. A comment sheet is available at the door for anyone wishing to submit written comments on these amendments. And just a reminder to committee members, if you have any motions on the items listed today, please send a copy to us ahead of the public delegation so that committee members and staff and the delegations have an opportunity to review and, as necessary, clarify your motion during the discussion of the matter. Thank you. So, any declarations of interest? None? Confirmation of minutes from the meeting of September 25th, 2018. Carrie? Thank you. Okay, our first item is... Wait a minute, hang on a second. Okay, our first item is application to demolish McGee House, 1119 Wellington Street West, a property designated under Part 4 of the Ontario Heritage Act. That item carried. I have no delegations. Carried?
Carried.
Thank you. Item number 2, we have delegations on application to demolish and construct a new building at 227 Mackay Street, a property located in the new Edinburgh Heritage Conservation District, designated under Part 5 of the Ontario Heritage Act. And as I said, we'll hold that one because we have speakers. 2 of them. Item number 3 is the zoning bylaw amendment for 770 Somerset Street West and 13 LeBreton Street North. I have the applicant is wishing to speak if needed, so Stephanie Morris Rashtapur from Fotan, Kevin Reed, who's from Rod Leahy, and Tanya Cherieri from Catastrophe Group is the owner. If does anyone have any questions on this item? And the councillor for the area is here, Councillor McKinney, and she said that she doesn't need to speak either. If none of us need to speak and we're prepared to carry it, do you need to speak? Okay, thank you. So is this item carried? Perfect. Thank you very much. The next item is zoning bylaw amendment for 174 Forward Avenue. This is in Kitchissippi Ward. Okay. And we have, anyone have any questions? Carl Fernie is here. Carl, where are you? Okay. Does anyone have any questions, or can we... After. No questions? So if we're prepared to carry this item, are you, do you still want to speak? And what you're going to say is not going to impact his decision? Okay, thank you. Okay, Councillor Leeper?
Just a quick note. We have 2 key secondary plans in Kitchissippi Ward. One of them was done in the past 4 years, Scott Street and Mechanicsville. One of them was done in Westboro. The new plan for Mechanicsville and Scott Street, which is just a few years old, this building came in at 8 stories. It has a neighborhood line. So the line has on one side, this is where we anticipate really tall buildings. On the other side of the line is going to be with lower rise infill. The success of bringing this building from the initially proposed 8 stories to 4 is due to the fact that we do have a new defensible modern secondary plan for that neighborhood. So I just want to say thanks to staff for working hard to make sure that we were defending that.
Good, thank you, Councillor Reaper. So on the item, is it carried? Thank you. Item number 5 is zoning bylaw amendment 348 Whitby Avenue and 364 Churchill Avenue North. This is an extension of a temporary zoning for an animal hospital for good purposes. We have, speaking on behalf of the applicant, we have Bill Holzman. Where are you, Bill? Okay, so does anyone have any questions on this item? So Bill, if we're prepared to carry this, do you still want to speak, or are you okay? Okay, thanks very much. So on the item, is it carried? Thank you. Okay, the next item up, we have a speaker. This is the zoning bylaw amendment for 3490 Innes Road, reducing rear yard setbacks. Mr. Amiot? Dennis? Oh, where's the... Who signed up to speak for this? This is 3490 Innes. This is in addition, besides Votan and besides Votan also. Denise, maybe? Denise Amiot? Okay. Are you against this application? Are you for or against? Steve?
Êtes-vous contre l'application ou tu offres le soutien à l'application? OK. Mais tu veux parler au comité? Tu veux discuter?
We'll hold it.
OK.
We're going to hold the item. Thank you. So Denise. Okay. The next item is the zoning bylaw amendment for 467 Terry Fox Drive in Canada North. I have only Taylor Marquis from Regional here. Does anyone have any questions? I see that Councillor Wilkinson is here on this item that's in our ward. No? So Taylor, if everyone is prepared to carry this, you don't need to speak? Correct. Thank you very much. Carrie? Thank you. We're holding anyway. Okay, so number 8 is the settlement of Appeal 10 to Official Plan Amendment 180. We have two speakers. We have Bill Holtzman and Murray Chown for TIFR. And you both want to speak on the record?
Not necessary, thank you. Same here.
Okay, does anyone here have any questions? Okay, so is the settlement of Appeal 10 to Official Plan Amendment 180, is it approved? Thanks very much for coming out.
Madam Chair, otherwise, tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't see the motion here, but yes. So we have a motion.
No, it's already in the
It's already in it. It's already in the report. Thank you. Okay, and number 9 is the Parkland Dedication Bylaw Review. It's a report by Councillor Shirelli. Just let me see if I have any speakers. I have no speakers. Just want to carry it?
If we carry it, I won't speak.
So on the item, is it carried? Thank you. Okay, so we go back to the beginning. So everyone in the room, we're holding item 2, item 6, that's it. Okay, 2 and 6. So item 2 is up first, which is application to demolish and construct a new building at 227 Mackay. We're not having a presentation. So I'll ask the first delegation to come up and speak. It's Marie Mullally, or Mullally, or Mullally. You can tell me when you get here.
Yes, it's Marie Mullally.
Mullally.
Yes, thank you.
Well, welcome, and you have 5 minutes whenever you want to get started.
Thank you. I'm speaking on behalf of the members of the Avonmore Co-op that's located at 215 McKay Street. And we made a presentation at the HSC committee on Thursday where we asked for certain items regarding the demolition of the historic house at 227, which was to have been incorporated into the the new house at 227. And we were told those items would be available to us, so we're still in the process of getting them, hopefully, but I want to reiterate what they are. And so number one would be a building inspector's or an engineer's, or we asked for toxicology reports, but I understand they don't exist, on the contents of the demolished or discarded materials of the 1890s Heritage House at 227 McKay. We also asked for new architectural plans that replace the historic 1890s Heritage House that was destroyed. We asked for the engineer's report on the state of the historic heritage home. And the building inspector's report that was carried out within the past week. We understand from the city that a building inspector was on the site last week and has carried out a report. We would like to have copies of the revised architect's plans for the current structure, and plans or drawings received or available on the garage construction. So this list has been submitted to staff, to city staff as well. And that's it.
You have that, is that all?
Yes, that's
Okay, so on the status of those asks?
Madam Chair, we noted the list at Built Heritage Subcommittee last week, and then very kindly Mrs. Malawi supplied it to me by email, and then I am going to do that today and tomorrow. Pull the information. Not all of that information ever existed, but what we have and what we can share, I am pulling together for her as soon as possible.
So you're thinking today?
I am absolutely thinking today, Madam Chair.
Perfect. And if there's one thing missing that you're waiting for, just send the rest of it on so that they have the time that they want to take before it goes to council.
Yes.
Does that sound good?
Thank you. Yes, that sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you very
Madam
much
Chair.
for coming out today.
You're welcome.
Next up, we have we have Adam Crane's submission on file, but we have Derek Crane is here. Did you want to speak, sir? Okay, does anyone have any questions? No? No? But thank you for coming out. So we're going to get that information to Ms. Mullally on behalf of the Avonmore Co-op Housing, as soon, like today, whatever we have available today. And on this item then, oh, there's a technical amendment, yeah.
I'll just go right to it. Therefore, it be resolved that the following changes be made to the staff report. 1, revise the English subject to application to construction a new building at 227 McKay Street, a property located in the New Edinburgh Heritage Conservation District, designated under Part 5 of the Ontario Heritage Act. 2, revise the French subject, demande de construction de nouveaux bateaux à 227 rue McKay, une propriété située dans le district de conservation de la promontoire de New Edinburgh, et désignée au terme de la part 5 de la loi sur la promenade de l'Ontario. 3, delete the recommendation 1 and renumber the remaining recommendations accordingly. 4, delete the statement in paragraph 2 on page 4. As there is no neither heritage permit under the Ontario Heritage Act nor demolition permit under the Building Code Act to permit the demolition, this report be prepared because demolition and new construction in the Heritage Conservation District designated under Part 5 of the Ontario Heritage Act requires the approval of City Council. And finally, 5, delete in its entirety the section of the discussion under this, the subheading Recommendation 1 on page 4 and 5 and rename the remaining subheadings accordingly.
So on the technical amendment, it's carried. And I just have a direction to staff that the mayor write the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing to encourage him to review the financial penalties related to illegal demolition of Part 4 or Part 5 buildings under the Ontario Heritage Act to see if they should be strengthened to discourage such activity. So on the item as amended, carried. Thank you. Thank you for coming out today. Okay, the last item that we have held is the zoning bylaw amendment for 3490 Innes Road. Is this yours, Miss? It's not yours. Whose is this? Marika Atfield. Okay. It's not here. Jeff McEwen's coming up instead? There you go. Okay, so I'm going to ask Madame Amiot. Bien sûr. No. Yeah.
Je vais être obligée de parler en anglais parce que personne ne comprend le français.
Oui.
Just Monsieur Blais. Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Blais. I've been living in Orleans for the past 4 or 5 generations. I'm a poor farmer's daughter, Mère Bleue. I spent more winters staying at my grandma because the snow was up to here. The plow from Cumberland thought Gloucester was coming along, and Gloucester thought, so the plow didn't come for 3 weeks. Okay. So now I live on Paget Road since I got married in '66. And I've been very happy on Paget Road. It was just a farmer's strip of land. We bought it for $12,500 and we paid it in 5 years, and I had the pleasure of staying home with the children. And life was beautiful, although we didn't have all the services. Now we have the services, we pay a lot, but I want to die there. Mourir dans la dignité. But I'm not sure I'm going to do it because there's so much noise and so much. I wake up in the morning, shake, rattle, and roll. Everything's moving in the house. I phone, not to complain, just to inquire, and they said I was on the other side. Another time, on the wrong side of the road. And the law says that 30 feet from the noise is being monitored and everything like that. And if there's extra noise, well, there's a monitor saying that it's too much. But then it's too late. The damage has been done to my house. That's the only gift I will have to give my children, my house, which is worth maybe from $12,000, it goes to $400,000, $500,000. I don't care. I want to die there. But I'm worried that the quality of life is diminishing. Ils ont barré la rue. That only helps 10 to 5 propriétaires. It has nothing to do with me. So the high increase of traffic and the noise of all the construction, and plus all those houses added, doesn't give me quality. And I'd like to be listened a little bit more seriously when I call and say there's much noise and there's detonation, like explosion, something like that. Because I know there's lots of rocks around there. My grandfather was living around that area. So that's it. That's all I have to say. I don't want to complain that you're doing a great job, but I'm worried about the quality of life and my house. C'est tout.
Donc, juste pour clarification, c'est les qualités de vie pendant la construction. Donc, si on peut améliorer la façon de construction, ça va donner plus de qualité de vie.
Je comprends pas.
Mais tes problèmes avec le développement sont dus à la construction, donc
Oui.
les vibrations, les camions, etc.,
Oui.
etc.
Pas juste le bruit, mais les vibrations que ça cause,
Oui.
et puis les craques dans la fondation de ma maison.
Ok.
Ça, c'est la détérioration de la valeur marchande de ma maison. Ça aussi, c'est pas juste quality time, c'est money.
Yeah. So I have a question for staff, just to follow up. Was there a vibration monitoring process through the subdivision agreement with the builder, or were there pre-construction inspections done to verify foundations, etc.?
Generally, that would be captured in the subdivision agreements, that those...
Can't hear you.
The pre-construction surveys are something that the developer would have to do, and that would be through the subdivision agreement. Not knowing exactly which subdivision she's complaining about is a bit difficult at this time, but this application isn't related to that.
I am fully aware of what we're talking about and what Madame is talking about, and it's not completely related to the zoning for rear and side yards. Mr. Willis, is he still here, or is someone from planning still here? Can we perhaps who can speak the langue de Molière, sit down with the presenter to go over her concerns with the subdivision and the process of construction, and perhaps ask the builder to do some on-site inspections and put some vibration monitors in? This is pretty typical stuff in Orleans where the soils are pretty bad.
Yes.
I don't know why it wasn't done, but this is the infill subdivision behind...
Madame said, though, that it was she's up to speed on what the rules are and that. It sounds like you're outside of the monitoring area. So, I mean, what's your address?
2420. I'm at the corner of Silver Birch.
We'll look at your house specifically and see what we can do to help.
Merci.
So who's going to take that away? Mr. Felwither? Okay, thanks. Thank you very much. We'll get some extra detail from you. Okay, don't go anywhere because we haven't... So I have, if needed, Gada Zaki and Stephanie Morris-Rashipur. Okay, does anyone have any questions? Yes, so come on forward.
Staff might be able to answer them.
Okay, hang on. Do you need to speak if you're not needed for questions? You're here for the record? Okay, so I'm going to go to Councillor Blais. You may have to come up if we get into that kind of in-depth or in your direction. Councillor Blais?
Sure. So, as I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, the variance is because of corner lot units only, and the way in which the house is going to be positioned on the lot, and it needs setback changes?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And so how many lots throughout the subdivision are we talking about?
I think it was listed as approximately 21 lots.
Okay.
They provided a little plan outlining the proposed lots.
And are the changes to apply to building better and smarter suburbs, or what do we call it, or is it just to maximize density? Why is the exemption required?
As I understand it, they were looking to put in, for one, a double-car garage. They wanted increased interior space for parking. So they were looking to have a little bit of a bump out on the rear end of the proposed dwelling to accommodate that and not lose their living space. That would just be for a one-story portion. They would be maintaining a rear yard. We designed it so that there would still be an interior side yard setback for that bump out, so that they're still maintaining a little pocket of rear yard.
Thanks very much.
Did you hear what was being said up here? No? You're good? Okay. Okay. So, again, I'll make another offer to you. You don't need to speak if we're prepared to carry this item. So on the item, is it carried? With the direction that's going to help Madame Amiot. Okay. All right. Any notices of motion? None? Inquiries? Other business? Well, other business, good luck everyone. This is our last planning meeting before October 22nd, and I want to thank you all for all of your work during this run up to it of almost 4 years. We've had a lot of meetings and we've had a lot of work that has passed through here. I want to thank staff for sure for helping us. But anyway, good luck to you all. Next meeting is Tuesday, November 20th. See you then. Thanks.